In this video, we're going to be focusing on strengthening your lower abs and your deep core muscles. And we're going to do that with a combination of diaphragmatic breathing and posterior pelvic tilting in this first exercise. So you want to start with a good inhale, relax everything. Exhale and engage from the bottom up while simultaneously pressing your lower back and upper part of your pelvis into the mat. So essentially there should be no space under your back. You should feel your entire pelvis tilting backwards and pressing into the mat. To help you achieve this, you want to make sure as you exhale that you press with your feet into the mat and lightly tilt your bottom up and away from the mat as you bring your back of your pelvis and your back flat to the mat. So you're going to do a nice big exhale and engage. And if you're doing it correctly, you should feel all of the lower part of your abdominals working and being strengthened. So again, you want to completely relax. Inhale, exhale, and engage your lower core. And as you engage those lower abs, that should naturally help that pelvis tilt back. You don't want to force it. It should be a gentle movement and very effectively targeting your lower abs in a gentle way. This is great if you're early postpartum and you're just wanting to get back to strengthening those abs again. And then as we go along in the workout, we will begin to progress this very simplistic exercise and build on top of that. So let's move to the next exercise. Next, we're going to do a straight leg raise. Again, as you can see, I'm checking to make sure my back is already flat and that pelvis is already tilted backwards. So as you're exhaling out, you're really focusing on the core. So even though you're straightening your leg, this is not a leg exercise. You want to do the same thing you did in the previous exercise. Inhale, relax. Exhale, engage while you're simultaneously using your core and your lower abs to lift your leg versus lifting your leg and not using your core. So make sure your emphasis is on that core as you exhale out. Engage from the bottom up meaning engage your pelvis, your lower abs, your middle, and your upper of that deep core. Remember that lower, middle, and upper transverse abdominis muscle is what brings that tummy in as you exhale. So if you feel pooching out on your hands, make sure that you're again exhaling all the way out and bringing that navel in and up as you are engaging that deep core and lifting that leg. All right, next we're going to move to lower ab marches. Here, the lever arm or the amount of weight that you're having to lift is not as much. So you can again really focus on targeting that core and lifting with your abs. So you really want to be thinking, my hip flexors and my lower abs are lifting my legs up as I march. Each time you want to exhale and engage with every time you lift your knees. All right, we're going to make that a little bit harder with toe taps. Again, make sure that back is completely flat to the mat. It's really great to have that feedback of keeping your hand on your lower part of your back so that as you lower your leg down to tap your toe, you're maintaining pressure on that hand. You're not arching your back, you're maintaining the pressure on that mat or on your hand the entire time. If you're unable to tap your toe all the way down to the mat because your pelvis is lifting up, that's totally okay. Just only lower your leg down as far as you can by keeping that back flat to the mat. And that's going to help those lower abs get stronger because you are actually really focusing on keeping that back flat and those abs engaged. Next, we're going to be doing a dead bug. So this is going to be an opposite arm and opposite leg lowering, coming back to the center. Exhale, opposite arm and opposite leg lowering, and come back to the center. Key thing here again is that your back is not arching up from the mat. So again, you may not be able to tap that toe all the way down or even reach your arms all the way back, and that's okay. But the goal here is to keep that back completely flat to the mat in order to make this an effective core exercise. Now, if you feel like you can keep that back flat, you want to give yourself an extra challenge, you can try extending your leg all the way out. Again, here the goal is to keep that pelvis and back flat to the mat and allowing those lower abs to do the work. All right, now we're going to do pretty much what I did similar to the dead bug, but we're gonna not do the arms here, and we're gonna extend our legs out. I want you to play around with the level at which you extend your legs out. If you feel like you need to keep your legs more up towards the ceiling, or if you feel like I'm doing pretty good, I have good core control, I can bring it lower down to the mat. The key here is to just make sure those abs are firing. You're exhaling out each time you extend that leg, and you're feeling those lower abs working. Next in the progression, we're going to do lower ab reverse crunches. I consider to be this a more advanced exercise. So again, with all of these exercises, you should not be feeling any pain. You should not be feeling any incisional pain. If so, then you may want to either modify this exercise or not do it altogether. So here's a modification where I have my foot on the wall and I'm pressing through my leg and pushing through the wall to get those lower abs to reverse and crunch. So the opposite leg is up and not in contact with the wall. I'm just using that one leg to rotate my pelvis back and really feel that crunching and lower abs working. And then when you're ready, you can go back to the reverse crunch. All right, next we're going to be doing the opposite arm and opposite leg lift, or AKA the bird dog. So you want to make sure you're starting with a neutral pelvis. You don't have a large arch in your back. You want to have that back flat. Like if you put a cup on that back, you could use that opposite arm and opposite leg. We shouldn't have any twisting, so no twisting. Make sure that back is nice and flat, abs engaged. You want to make sure you're exhaling, drawing your belly button in and up as you exhale out, and make sure that you are nice and steady as you bring that opposite arm and opposite leg up off of the ground. If extending all the way out is a little bit too hard, you can always do one arm or one leg at a time. You don't have to do opposite arm and opposite leg. And then you can build your strength up and work your way back to this move here. Again, exhale out, engage, lift, opposite arm and opposite leg. All right, next we're going to be doing hovers. You want to make sure your shoulder is lined up with your wrist, so you should be in a nice straight line there. And as you exhale and engage, you're going to lift those knees straight up off the ground. This is a tough exercise, okay? So you only lift as far as you can without any pain and without any straining. You need to work your way up to this one, that's totally fine. But this is going to be a great exercise for your entire core as well as those lower abs. If you don't really feel your lower abs firing, you can always place a ball between your knees. Squeeze that ball as you lift those knees up as well. But again, you want to inhale at the bottom, exhale, engage, hold, exhaling out as you're at the top, and then make sure that you're getting a good engagement. So you can always move your shirt around or move your shirt completely off so that you can see that your core is really engaging, drawing in and up as you lift up into this hover position. Inhale, exhale, engage, hold, exhale out, and then lower. If you feel like you need to modify this move, you can always place a chair in front of you and place your elbows on the chair and then lift your legs up off of the ground in the same exact move. But otherwise, you can give this a try and build your strength up from there. Remember, this is the progression, so continually work at it, and I promise you will get stronger. Great job.